people on the Liberian way.
Okay.
Okay, our own young people. And I'll give you an example. My brother, Charles Ebu King, is always on the internet responding to all kinds of comments.
Okay.
Somebody wrote once to say that Samuel K. Doe's son, who has studied law in England, was coming home and was going to run for some elective office. I don't know exactly where it is. But then a commentator wrote and said, like father, like son, tried to destroy the young man. I do not know the young man. I've never met him. But the principle was that instead of giving this young man a chance to come back to Liberia and do his part, someone was castigating him up front. Didn't know anything about him, but just because he was Samuel K. Doe's son, you castigate him. You do not give that individual a chance to perform, to be a part of society. That is one example of the Liberian way. The other aspect of the Liberian way is settling for second best. We do not raise the standards. We are satisfied with second best. Somebody is going down the street. This is a story that is told to me.
Okay.
You see somebody coming the wrong way. The person in one car informs the person, my man, you're doing wrong. You know what the man who's doing wrong says? What are you talking about? And this Liberia? And this Liberia. In other words, can we not do anything here? It's okay. It is not okay. And the reason it is not okay, and the reason we have to have some standards, it says in the Bible, if you are not faithful to small things, you cannot be faithful to the big things. I.e., if we insist on substantiveness, mediocrity at the small level, then we take it to the national level. And we don't have standards. We settle for second best. And if you do not demand standards, we'll get nowhere. The book, therefore, talks about this issue of leadership and the Liberian way. But it not only talks about it, we are hearing it from a variety of our immersion leadership, a variety of our people on the ground, in the diaspora. They talk about their efforts to come home and do things, and the impossibility. Those on the ground, the barriers that are created, and some of the barriers are man-made, and so on.
So we are trying to identify the Liberian way, especially the negative part of the Liberian way that needs to change.
Yes.
If we must get a better Liberia.
Exactly. And let me read one of the comments from one of the young people.
Please do.
Kaifa Dennis.
Okay.
Listen to his statement. Very interesting. I was indoctrinated into the Liberian way at a young age, and it had everything to do with living a virtuous life. This new mentality we find in Liberia, in reality, he calls it the anti-Liberian way.
Okay.
This way is all about self-interest, 100% of the time, a perspective, self-serving mentality that drives a person to seek any advantage or benefit, no matter what expenses or detriment it may cause to others. I believe this mentality was developed during the war as a means for survival, when the Liberian way that he mentioned earlier got flipped upon its head. Today, nearly every facet of life in our society is in some manner hindered by this. He calls it the anti-Liberian way, but it is in essence what we term the Liberian way.
And Kaifa is a young fellow that came back home and is making his contribution, I think, at the JFK.
No, not this one, I think. This one is in entrepreneurship business. This Kaifa Dennis. This is the son of Hillary Dennis, who had the stevedore company and all of that. There's other Dennises at the JFK. But what is beautiful about this, and what I'm most proud of, is that you are hearing directly from the emergent leadership of this nation. And if the emergent leadership of this nation is saying, look, we have a problem, I am saying in this book, what is the legacy of our generation for the next? Are we going to do something about it? And that is why I'm excited about this recent Forum for Societal Change.
Okay.
I am looking forward to being a part of it. This is what has been missing. And it has been missing because we as Liberians, we are so political. Everything you want to do, people get afraid because it's politics.
Okay.
It's politics.
Okay.
But I like this initiative, and I want to commend all of you who are involved. I look forward to being a part of it.
Thank you,
because
and we
that is
welcome
how
you
I
on
see
board.
the Liberian way is going to be the approach.
Breaking the cycle.
Breaking the cycle. We got to
Okay.
break the
We got to
cycle.
break the cycle through the Forum for Societal Change.
Yes, I think it can be a good
And we
mechanism.
welcome you on board.
Thank
It
you.
will be a pleasure having you as part of our team.
Thank you.
You're watching the Dave Garnett Show. You're listening to the Dave Garnett Show. Our guest today is Her Excellency Honorable Olubanke King Akerele, our former Foreign Minister and our former Minister of Commerce, Republic of Liberia. Don't go away, and please don't flip that dial or turn that remote. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Monrovia is the capital city of Liberia. It is a vibrant city with lots of potential for doing business. There are many challenges along with great opportunities, but we stand tall and need everyone involved in keeping the city clean, green, and safe for all of its inhabitants, regardless of their demographics. I am Clara Do Umfogo, the Mayor of the City of Monrovia. Together with my dedicated staff at the Monrovia City Corporation, we are striving to maintain a clean, green, and safe Monrovia. Please come on board and join me and my dedicated staff at the Monrovia City Corporation in transforming Monrovia into a clean, green, and safe city while promoting economic growth and good governance. Thank you.
Monrovia, clean, green, and safe.
The Dave Garnett Show is sponsored by the National Social Security and Welfare Corporation, NASCORP. NASCORP is revolutionizing the Liberian Social Security Program. Under its employment injury and national pension schemes, NASCORP fulfills the following benefits: temporary and permanent disablement benefits, constant attendance allowance, death benefit, funeral grant, medical benefits, retirement pension, invalidity pension, retirement grant, survivors grant and refund. NASCORP gives back to the community through its corporate social responsibility program to identify with national agenda and priorities such as adult literacy and primary education, safe drinking water, sanitation, national emergencies, health, higher education, economic empowerment, and agriculture and housing. NASCORP touches the life of everyone.
Let's Marvin Gaye and get it on. You got the healing that I want, just like they say in the song, till the dawn. Let's Marvin Gaye and get it on. We got this king size to ourselves, don't have to share with no one else. Don't keep your secrets to yourself. It's Kama Sutra show and
Africa. You are evil and very wicked. God will give you Kayam Pepe. Ebola.
Bringing under the spotlight the development efforts in our country by the government, the private sector, and our international partners. With our moral obligations and civil responsibilities for the social, economic, and political future of our country. Make an appointment with the discussion this and every Wednesday at 8:30 to 9:15 p.m. with a repeat on Saturday from 8:30 to 9:15 p.m. Be a part of the Dave Garnett Show, a vision for the future.
Hi, and welcome back to the Dave Garnett Show. We're excited today to have in our studio with us Her Excellency Honorable Olubanke King Akerele, our former Minister of Commerce and the former Minister of Foreign Affairs, Republic of Liberia. And we're talking about the book she has written and the Liberian way and trying to break that cycle. She also wrote some, or prepared some games, card games and board games that she will explain to us. Madam, let's talk about the board game, for instance.
Okay. Foremost, what I have done is transform one of the books, The Growing of Africa's Leadership, into an educational board game, like a Monopoly. But the educational board game is to promote critical thinking, team building, and debates. It's very, very important. Critical thinking, team building is what it is.
On the issues relating to Africa and leadership.
Yes, and the stories of the young people. A couple of examples. This, for example, is the board game. The board game was, first of all...
Can you pick that up? Can you zone in on it, please?
The board game is bilingual, French and English. It was formally launched in Ghana in November last year.
Moi, je parle bien le français.
Ah, mais c'était extraordinaire. Donc, it was launched at the Alliance Française. And the Alliance Française was excited about it because of what it's about. You see, across here, the challenges. What are the challenges facing leadership on the continent? Public health, peace and conflict, good governance, business, returning home from the diaspora, and then Africa's 6th region. Now, each of these challenges, the way the game revolves around the life stories and history and challenges of the people from different parts of the world. I will give you 2 concrete examples. One from Liberia and one from another country. So the issue is there are 3 sets of people playing the game, 3 teams. And they read a problem that is presented, and then they break up and discuss, and then you come back and present your case and why you chose option A, option B, option C. We have a case of a young person, Sese, who finds himself, he tells the story in the book, and now we transform it into a game. He tells the story of having to escape Sierra Leone during the height of the war, finds himself in Senegal, back in Sierra Leone, working for an international project with UNIDO, and he finds that the biggest problem is how to deal with the young people in the sub-region there. All of them are former child soldiers. So what do you do with them? 3 options are posed. Number 1, since they know how to fight, let's create an army that is available to help other countries do the coup d'etat. Option A. Option B, no, you want to try to get these young people trained and engaged with some private sector enterprises in the sub-region. Or C, you disagree with either of those and you decide to come up with your own opinion. So that's the nature of the game. So you break up into groups and you discuss the 3 options and come back. That's a case of Sierra Leone. Let's take a case of somebody from...
Zambia, you said?
No, I would take somebody from Nigeria. The young man was in Asia, comes back from Malaysia, rubber technology was his area, comes home, applies for a loan. The requirements for the collateral for a loan to set up a rubber technology center was so expensive he couldn't do it. So what should he do? 3 options. 1, he should just pack up and go back to Malaysia, which appreciates him. Or number 2, try to go into teaching and train other people in the sub-region. 3, you have your own option. In this case, here is what happened. The young man from Nigeria, who was an expert in rubber technology in Asia, Malaysia, he decides to stay home and teach, but then he links up with us in Liberia. He has helped us to set up a rubber technology center, the first in West Africa, where in Kepamas, at Tubman University, to service the sub-region. One final case of Liberia. A young fellow comes home and tries to set up cocoa, go into cocoa business planting. In fact, this young man is Momolu Talbot. Invest in invest in cocoa production. Takes him 9 years to get a concession contract where the foreigners may take 6 months. Why has it taken him 9 years? Because of the Liberian way. Momolu Talbot is tired. He came here with his assistants, all the other people who came here with him. They decided to leave, his foreign investors. They got disgusted with the Liberian way. The young man cannot get his contract, 9 years to get a concession, a Liberian. This is the Liberian way. He is upset, he's invested. And so the options given in the card game, number 1, he should just pack up and go to Cote d'Ivoire, which can appreciate cocoa production, leave Liberia. Option 2, no, he should stay here, introduce Liberians to a new agriculture product, and so expand their horizon. Or number 3, you have a different view. This is the nature of the game. You present the problems of individuals, you break up into discussion. This is developing leadership. New critical thinking.
And you find the
ways.
best solution.
You find the best solution.
It's a win-win situation.
Yes, this is what the game is about.
Wonderful.
It's called an educational board game. It's not it's a no-nonsense thing. I don't deal with nonsense.
All right, let's talk about the other games. You have a card game too, educational and historical card game. You know, like questions of, you know, where was the OAU established and things like that.
Excellent. It's called a trivia on Liberia. And let me also pay credit to my collaborator in this. It's a lady from Cameroon. I saw her doing board games for Americans in the U.S.
Wonderful.
to acquaint them about Africa, and that's where I got the idea. So I want we are collaborators, francophone. Now, on Liberia, this is exciting. It's called a trivia on Liberia. Here are some of the issues, and I will pose a couple of them. The trivia set is available.
I hope I can answer the question.
A couple of examples. What is Saniquele, Nimba County, known for in Liberia's and Africa history? I will give you 2 options and you will choose, but please listen to all of it first. One option is that Saniquele, in terms of Africa and Liberia's history, what is its significance? A, it was the site for the beginning of the OAU, where Kwame Nkrumah, Tubman, and Sekou Touré signed the convention. It was the first meeting of the OAU. Or B, it is where the Unification Monument is.
I would take A.
A what?
A, because that's where they have these 3 huts right by the superintendent on the superintendent compound that symbolize those 3 countries coming together: Guinea, Liberia, and Ghana.
And yes.
Those 3 Palava huts. On the superintendent compound.
Absolutely.
Signifies those 3, the symbolism of those, the forming of the OAU.
Excellent. That's an example. Let me give you a couple of others. Momolu Massacre. Momolu Massacre was A, the first Liberian ambassador to the United Nations, or B, the first Liberian consul general to Germany?
B, first Liberian consul general to Germany.
Excellent. Another case, one last one. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
I'll give you those seems to have been too easy for you. Another example. Emma Shannon Walser was A, the first Liberian woman Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, or B, the first Liberian woman Circuit Court judge?
B, the first Liberian woman Circuit Court judge.
Well, how come you're answering all the correct things?
Because I was here. All right, wonderful.
Excuse me.
The card games are very interesting.
One
Okay.
more, because many people may not be aware. Many people may not be aware of this. Listen to this now. This is extremely important. Who was the first indigenous Liberian vice president and under whose administration? A, Moniba under the Samuel Doe administration, or B, Wesley, A2 Wesley,
A2 Wesley.
Gribble. The other one was Bundy. Bundy, Moniba under the Samuel Doe administration, or Gribble, H2 Wesley under the CDB King administration.
I will go with B, H2 Wesley under the King administration.
Yes, but most Liberians would say A,
yes,
under the Samuel Doe
because
administration.
They don't know.
Because they don't know, and because instead of uniting and building on those things that bind us, we want to deprecate.
So I get 100, I pass the whole test.
I think so.
All right, wonderful. Now, Madam, as we wrap up, it's always a pleasure, and you have to come back on this show. Please tell our listening audience, how does one get a copy of the books and game sets?
Okay, very good. Thank you. First of all, for the moment, you can buy my books at the and the games and everything at the Peace Cafe.
Okay, that's 17th Street and Tubman
17th
Boulevard.
Street and Tubman
At the
Boulevard.
Aminata service station.
At the Aminata service station right behind there. You can get that. They are two of them are on the
Internet.
You can get the Growing Leadership and the Accelerating Africa's Integration.
Okay.
You can get that. The others are not yet on the Internet. We have to work on that. Okay, but there will be an event here in May again, where I will be making them available. There's also the checker set, the Liberian checker set. These were launched last year. And again, but what I'd like to add, which is the most important thing, is that the proceeds of the sales of these books and games, very significant. First of all, the proceeds go to help support internships of young Liberians and young Africans wherever the books are sold. Because internships are an opportunity for attachments and to grow leadership. You have to have these opportunities. They have this in the West. You don't have it in our countries. And we have a number of our interns who have moved on to other levels. And then the proceeds of the sales of the game. This is very